Hello and welcome to the talkSPORT Goals preview show brought to you by Final One Standing. It's new from William Hill, 18 plus at gambleaware.org. I'm Sam Ellard, and joining me to look ahead to all of the Premier League games this weekend, Bad Back is absolutely sorted. Lee Phelps, how are you?
I wish it was sorted. I can walk. That's all I'm happy about. I'll be there
What's
on
the
Saturday.
issue?
And I may have knelt down to tie my shoes up, and
Oh
my back
no.
went.
You're
I don't
not
know.
that old,
It's not
are
quite
you?
like Rio Ferdinand playing the Xbox, is it? But it's an innocuous injury. But I'm
It
getting
can
back
happen.
to normal.
Good. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you this weekend. We'll start, as always, with a Final One Standing update. Please, Lee, where are we at?
Yeah, it's amazing. I thought more went through last week than would have done. 70% went through last week in the end,
Wow.
which it's a fair chunk, isn't it? So we are down to the last 1% of players in the original and the biggest £500,000 Final One Standing jackpot. We started with 300,000. We're going to get straight into this, and the deadline's 3:00, and the picks. I mean, it's in a way I'm kind of pleased I'm not in it, because it must be terrible to try and pick now. Brighton are accounting for something like 60% of picks.
I reckon a lot of people might have Fulham available and go Fulham to Wolves. Could be a nice one.
It's Fulham and Brighton. If those two don't win, then we are down to a very small number, because there's not a lot of picks for anyone else. I mean, you've got 10s and 20s, but yeah, Brighton are in the thousands and Fulham are right up there as well. They're the two. So if you want this game, if whoever's picking them need wins for Brighton at home to Leeds, you'd expect it, wouldn't you, to be fair? And Fulham will come on to that game.
Well, let's start then, shall we, with our game-by-game Premier League preview, Lee, for people watching. You can hopefully maybe steer them in the right direction of a couple of prices that might jump out over the weekend. So Brighton v Leeds is 2 places and 1 point separate the two sides. Leeds already 3 wins back in the top flight, including last weekend beating West Ham at home in a big game. Brighton really inconsistent this season, aren't they? They've kept just 1 clean sheet in their last 21 Premier League matches, and have only kept the clean sheet in 17% of the games under Fabian Hürzeler. That has to get better. I like both teams to score and Brighton to win, Lee.
Yeah, don't mind that at all. Yeah, it's a nice way to start, isn't it? Brighton 5-6, the draw 27-10, Leeds 16-5. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going for Brighton in this, isn't there? Unbeaten at the Amex. Leeds struggle to back up wins as well. And the last time they've won a game, last 6 in the Premier League, you've seen 5 losses and a draw. And Brighton have got a really good record against Leeds as well. Farkas men have failed to score in 3 of the last 4 away games. So that's the only thing I'd say about your both teams to score. Can Leeds get a goal at Brighton? But Brighton are so susceptible that you'd have to think, yeah, they probably can. I've been looking at a bet builder on this one. It's over 1.5 Brighton goals. I think they do score 2 goals, whatever Leeds do. I like Sean Longstaff to have a shot on target. He scored against Brighton last time they played. And one player who we've watched a lot on goals this season is Danny Welbeck. He's playing so well, isn't he? He's going. I mean, people are talking about him potentially going to the World Cup, which seems ludicrous. I mean, if anyone would have suggested that, before the season started, it'd have been like, what? But that's 11-2. That bet builder, just those 3 picks. So 2 or more Brighton goals, a Longstaff shot on target, and Danny Welbeck to score is 11-2. So I don't mind that. I think it probably works for a bet builder. Your bet, by the way, just trying to find the Brighton to win and both teams to score, which I think will be a decent price. 5-2.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, no, I think Brighton defensively scare me. They saw United last week, particularly in that first half, how open they are. I think they can be devastating going forward, but defensively very, very open. Burnley versus Arsenal, top of the table. Arsenal only conceding 3 goals in all competitions this season. Arsenal unbeaten their last 11 away games against Burnley, and Arsenal have won 23 of their last 24 Premier League games against promoted sides. But let's give Burnley some credit. They have won each of their last 2 Premier League matches and are perhaps doing better than a lot of people would have thought so far in this season's Premier League. Is it pretty hard, though, Lee, to go anything other than an Arsenal win and an Arsenal clean sheet?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, they're 100-30, 3-10 on, that is. 4-1 the draw, Burnley 10-1. So, you're talking about a 9% chance of winning. And we always talk about these 9% chances. Do they win 9 or more games out of 100 against Arsenal at home?
No, I say right now. The way Arsenal are playing, absolutely not.
Yeah. But
they might not have 9 shots on target in 100 games against Arsenal.
I guess what you're looking at here, if you're Burnley and you're looking at it tactically, you're going to try and keep it exceptionally tight and try and hit them with a sucker punch. That's really the only option they've got. Like you said, Arsenal's record's fantastic. I mean, 8 straight wins in all competitions, conceding 1, scoring 16. Now, that's 2 a game, but they scored 4 against Atletico, remember? So they don't score a lot. If you look at, I'm trying to fashion some sort of bet here. The record at home in the Premier League this season, 2-0 against Leeds, Burnley, 1-1 Forest, lost 1-0 to Liverpool, 2-0 against Sunderland. So I think they lose, but by how many? Gunners' away record in the league, 1-0 against Man U. They lost 1-0 to Liverpool, beat Newcastle 2-1, and beat Fulham 1-0. So they haven't won by more than a single goal margin against anyone in the Premier League so far away from home. Now, Arsenal's win to nil is 21-20. Yeah, don't mind that. It's better than the 3-10, obviously. Arsenal win at under 2.5 goals is 12-5. So that gives you a 1-0 win and a 2-0 win. I don't mind that at all. And I think by the time we get to match day on Saturday on goals, we'll have a price boost, which will be something, it'll be a player to score and Arsenal to win 1-0, 2-0 or 2-1. And I think that'll be a nice way in. They don't seem to put the foot down on the pedal once they get the job done.
They just control the games, don't they?
They beat Leeds heavily, didn't they, early in the season? But there haven't been many examples of that. That's where the only criticism of Arsenal at the moment is that, they're only winning 1-0. We'll be going back to 1-0 to the Arsenal soon, won't we? That old song, with all the set pieces, etc. So, look, I mean, there's a few ways into this. I'm looking forward to the game. Burnley, to be drawing at half-time. Arsenal to win full-time might be another one that we look at on Saturday on goals. But I think it's quite an intriguing game.
Okay, good stuff. Palace-Brentford, really looking forward to this game. Both sides on 13 points. Palace haven't won in 3 league games. Brentford have won 3 of their last 4. And Palace have won just 1 of their 8 Premier League games against Brentford. Lee, are the bookies being very generous, giving Brentford, in good form, beat Liverpool last week, 3-1? That was the price that jumped out at me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I tend to agree. No, I've been going on about this kind of 3-1 or bigger against certain teams, and it's worth looking at. This is another great example. We had a load of them land last weekend, of course. So if you are following that, then you're going to make, because obviously if you're backing 3-1 shots and 2 or 3 of them come in, you're on the right side. That win, first win since the start of October for Palace in the week, came against that strange Liverpool side, strange Liverpool matchday side, to be honest. Ismaila Sarr scoring 2. He's already bagged 3 in the league this season. Obviously, Jean-Philippe Mateta's banging form, 5 goals in 9 league games, played well last night as we record this as well. You've got to expect goals, haven't you? Really impressed by Igor Thiago, second in the top scorer table to Haaland with Semenyo. We spoke about him on goals a couple of weeks ago. He scored 18 in one season for Club Brugge. He scored 15 in a season in the Hungarian top division. I know they're not Premier League level, but he's got 7 in 11 for Brentford already. Over 2-1 to score he is here. I like that a lot. I'll be following that really closely on Saturday. Over 3.5 goals in the match is 15-8. Don't mind that at all either. And I've said this a few times already, but I love this bet builder when you have one player to score, assist, and pick up a yellow. Feels like one of those games where if you could pick one out, Pino scored, assisted, and got a yellow card on Wednesday night. That was 50-1. So you're always looking around the 50-1 mark. If you can pick a player out who's going to score, assist, and get, I remember you get impact sub on those as well. So even if, let's say you go Mateta to score, you can see him scoring and assisting. Maybe not the yellow, but that I love those bets. So one of these Saturdays, we'll get one of those up on goals.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that sounds something a little bit different. That's fun. I like a score draw on this as well. I think both sides very evenly matched. There'll be goals in it. I like maybe 1-1 or 2-2. Fulham Wolves, these are all Saturday 3 o'clock games, by the way, so far. 2 sides really, really struggling. Wolves are bottom, still yet to win this season. Fulham 17th. Fulham have lost each of their last 4 Premier League matches. No current side on a longer losing run. As for Wolves manager Vitor Pereira, he's gone 13 Premier League matches without a victory. Lee, what bet do you like here for this game?
Yeah, Fulham, one of those other teams with Brighton, 25% gone for them in final one standing. They're 5-6 to win it. The draw 5-2. Wolves 17-5. Just a really strange team, Fulham, aren't they? We've watched a lot of them. 1 loss in 7 to start the season off, and then no win in 5 across all competitions with 4 losses. They got through on penalties against Wickham. It's Wickham. I'm no disrespect to Wickham, but it's Wickham. So you can't be too confident of them at odds on. It's difficult. Look, the losses were to a rejuvenated Villa, one of the best teams this season so far in Bournemouth, Arsenal, and Newcastle at St James's Park. So, look, you could make excuses for Fulham's 4 defeats, I guess, and they are playing Wolves. The League Cup's been their saviour so far, hasn't it? With their only 2 wins this season, but they even went out of that in the end. Against Chelsea, 10-man Chelsea again, 8 losses and 2 draws. Now, I was on talkSPORT 2 previewing the Fulham game on Tuesday. I put up Kevin to score. He had 7 shots, 3 on target, 2 blocked. Now, he scored 5 in 5 for Shakhtar in the Europa League and Conference League before his move to Fulham. If he starts, I'm backing him to score it just under 3-1.
But that was a strange one with Fulham though. Like Kevin's, he hasn't even been. He came in with such a big reputation. Yeah. He hasn't even been playing. He hasn't even been playing for Fulham. And I find Fulham a really frustrating team, and they've got lots of either wide players or 10s. King, Smith Rowe. I think they lack that focal point up front, that goal scorer who's going to get them 10, 15 goals. And I think it's really, really cost them.
Yeah, I agree. There must be, we don't know, do we? But he's been a bit part player. But he started obviously on Tuesday and played well, obviously, as I've just said. You wonder if he'll get his chance here against Wolves. I'd like to think so. And if he does, I'll be putting him up in the studio on Saturday as well. I think just under 3-1 is too big for a player of his quality. And like I said, he's not far off scoring on Tuesday, and that bet would have landed. So I'll be looking at him if he starts.
And apologies to all Wickham fans there for Leeds' absolutely ridiculous slander of Wickham. I mean, that was just unnecessary and uncalled for, Lee Phelps.
Especially from a Grimsby fan.
Yeah, I know. Commiserations, by the way. Forest Man United, the 5th and final Saturday 3 o'clock game. I'm sure you all know by now, Man United, I can't believe I'm saying this, have won 3 Premier League games in a row. Forest's first league game under Sean Dyche was last weekend. They lost to Bournemouth. They're in the relegation zone. Forest, though, have won their last 3 league games against Manchester United. Lee Phelps, can Manchester United go 4 league wins in a row?
Yeah, well, matey with the hair will be absolutely desperate by now, won't he?
I disagree with that, by the way. I disagree with that statement.
Oh, you think he wants to keep it going?
If there's one person that doesn't want United to win 5 games in a row, it's this guy who's become really famous because Man United haven't won games. I think you're thinking about that wrongly.
The itchiness over stardom. I'm not sure.
By the way, have you been told what we're doing? If United do win 5 in a row, he's coming in live to the talkSPORT Gold studio, and you're actually going to be the one to shave his hair off, Lee. So there we go.
I'd love that. I would absolutely love that. I've had a close shave a few times in my life. I'm fine at that. I'd make him look like he'd have hair like a tennis ball by the time I'd finished.
Oh, good. I'd be happy to know that.
Forest 11-5. The draw 13-5. Man United 11-10. Forest beat Man United on April Fool's Day at home, and since then they've won 2, drawn 1, lost 7 at their place. It's no longer a fortress, is it? And Sean Dyche has to make it a fortress. Forest don't like the 3 p.m. Saturdays. I don't know what we've done to them on goals. They've lost the last 3 without scoring. Do you know when your team's on a bad run? You're a Forest fan at the minute. It feels like every team has an upturn in form just as you go to play them, doesn't it? And this is what's happened with Man United. Since week 3, Man United have scored more goals than anyone and are only second to Arsenal in points picked up. It's like Forest was thinking, hang on, give us a break. And, Brian and Mbeumo, 4 in 9. In his last 5 games, he's had 9 shots, 7 on target. I mean, that's great striking, isn't it? And then he's scoring goals from those shots on target as well. It's got to be in your thoughts at around 2-1. I think Man United will beat them. I think the confidence is starting to flow. I think they'll have too many goals. Sean Dyche's teams aren't known for their goals, are they? So I think I can see Man United winning this, maybe 2-1, maybe even 3-1 if Mbeumo's on fire.
So they are our 5 Saturday 3 o'clock games, all done and dusted. We'll be doing a talkSPORT Goal show on Saturday. And this is the talkSPORT Goals preview show brought to you by Final One Standing. It's new from William Hill, 18+, gambleaware.org. This is the talkSPORT Goals preview show brought to you by Final One Standing, new from William Hill, 18+, gambleaware.org. It's Sam Ellard and Lee Phelps taking you through all of the Premier League action this weekend. We've done the 5 Saturday 3 o'clock games. The Saturday 5:30 one is a tasty one. One of my favourite fixtures, Lee, across the whole Premier League season. Always good games, always a little bit of needle. Spurs 3rd in the table, taking on a Chelsea team down in 9th after last week's defeat to Sunderland. Chelsea, though, have won 5 of their 6 Premier League games against Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs, though, winning 5 of their 9 Premier League matches this season. That's as many as they won in their last 26 games, remarkably, under Ange Postecoglou. And Chelsea themselves not in great form, losing 3 of their last 5 Premier League matches. I think with this one, Lee, and I like to do this a lot, I think I'm quite boring. Maybe I need to be a bit more adventurous, but I'm very happy here to sit on the fence and say draw.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I mean, it's virtually a pick 'em in terms of the win prices. 13-8 Tottenham, 6-4 Chelsea, and 5-2 the draw. Biggest price of the 3. Yeah, I can completely see that. I mean, I don't think it's a 0-0. So if I was going draw, I'd be going draw on both teams to score at 100-30. Yeah, great game. Really looking forward to it. Chelsea's ill discipline, it didn't cost them in the week in the end, but they're probably lucky they were playing Wolves. And I expect more cards in this fixture. Chelsea's record so far this season in the Premier League, 18 yellows and 3 reds. They've had a red in the Champions League and a red now in the League Cup as well. It's a joke. Spurs have had 15 yellows as well in the Premier League this season. There were 10 cards between these two in the last match they played. We've seen games, not every match is full of cards, by the way, but there's usually 4 or 5. And then we saw one the other season. Remember, there were 2, Spurs had 2 men sent off, and there were another 10 or 11 cards in that game. So I think it's going to be, I think there will be, I'm not saying there's going to be 10, but I think there'll be goals. I think there'll be cards. I like shots on target. I've put a bet builder together. That's around 8-1. You can add more to it, by the way, if you need to. I've gone over 2.5 goals in the match. I've gone for over 5.5 cards, so you need 6 or more. I think that's achievable with this Chelsea and Tottenham side. Shots on target for Estevao and Richarlison, and that comes to 8-1. Obviously, like I say, you can add more. You can pick a goal scorer. You can pick.
I don't like the Richarlison shot on target.
You like that?
I know I don't like Richarlison shot on target. I'm not even sure Richarlison starts. Did you watch him in the Carabao Cup against Newcastle? There was a moment, Lee, where a ball came across the face of goal and it looked like a certain tap-in, and he just mistimed the run and the ball goes past him. I know they got injuries at the moment, Spurs, but I just can't believe in 2025 Spurs are still starting Richarlison. I find him such a frustrating player.
Yeah, do you know, I imagine him. I can imagine him being one of those players in training where he looks fantastic, and then they play him. And I mean, look, he's had some really bright moments this season. We were all over him at the start of the season.
One goal against Burnley, Lee.
He hasn't got that. He was good against PSG, but you're right. I mean,
that game didn't count. We weren't on air for that one.
I just said we watched it together. I'll never forget that moment, Sam.
Neither will I. That's where it all started. Shame the world didn't see it.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the archives.
Someone here at talkSPORT watches it every day. It was that good.
If Richarlison doesn't start, then whoever's up front shot on target. I guess the point being, I think there'll be shots on target. But yeah, I think this is a great one. If you can pick out a couple of players for cards in bet builders really boost the prices. So
Jalpalinia, all over it.
Absolutely, yeah. He would be the obvious one.
Just give me a yellow card before the game even starts and just be done with it, referee. Like, don't waste your time during the game. Just
for the way he looks as he runs on the pitch.
Yeah.
And we'll have epic boosts through the weekend as well. And, across the Premier League, we've been getting filled in quite a lot on those but the traders keep putting them out there, and so if they keep landing, they're always quite nice. I think Newcastle to score in the first half was the epic boost on Wednesday night in the League Cup. That landed fairly easily as well. So yeah, look out for the epic boosts across the Saturday and Sunday games.
I really hope, and if anyone's got plans Saturday night, by the way, cancel them. Saturday, 5:30, Spurs, Chelsea. Saturday, 8 o'clock, Liverpool, Aston Villa. So, Lee, explain this to me, please. Liverpool have lost their last 4 league games in a row. And obviously, there are also other defeats in there in the Cup and Champions League. Villa have won their last 4 league games in a row. Yet Aston Villa at Anfield are 4-1. That is a price that surely lots of people are going to be all over. 4-1 against this Liverpool team.
Yeah, no, I agree. But you're not going to, seldom will you see the prices change. Even when Man City were in the doldrums, the prices didn't change for a while. And I think there's a thought process around pricing up a match where you can't, how we talk a lot about percentages, and there's a mathematical basis to these prices. You can't just have a knee-jerk reaction and think, well, Liverpool are gone at the game. That's it. They're done. Because if Salah kind of hits form, or and they start playing the way we know they can play, then suddenly, you can't offer them at bigger odds than even money. For instance, we did the other night when in the League Cup, when of course look, I'm sure Arne Slot and the Liverpool hierarchy weren't trying to get out of the League Cup, but that team, the squad, the result, and the red card. It was another terrible day at the office for Liverpool. But yeah, you're right. They're odds on. The 6-10. The draw 100-30. Aston Villa just under. They were 4-1, like you said. They've just gone 19-5. The prices might even come in a lot more before.
I think he will.
Before Saturday night, because the answer to your question, really, Sam, is if you look at it and you think that's too big, and you like to have a bet, back it. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. You can question it all you like, but just take it on, and then the price will get shorter. Liverpool have drifted massively in the outright Premier League market. There were odds on obviously at the start of the season. Now 6-1. I'm just double checking that I haven't drifted. 7-1. They've driven. I checked that last night. The 7-1 now from 6s yesterday. So like 7-1 to win the title. 2-5 Arsenal. City 4-1. But back to this game. There is one less competition to worry about for Liverpool now, I guess, with Villa, Real Madrid at Anfield, and then Man City away the next 3. They need to get back on track. Confidence is with Villa though, like you say. 1 loss in 7 now. 1 win in 7 for Slotsmen. Mo Salah has to step up now, doesn't he? 9 goals in 13 games against Aston Villa. Liverpool need him. He has had 13 shots in his last 5 games. 5 of those were on target. I think I can't. I'd have to go Villa. On the basis of if there's a team
it's
that's
hard to back Liverpool at the moment, isn't it? With where
it's
they're
hard
playing.
to back.
It really is.
I'd have to go Villa. Yeah. If you're looking at a single on this one. If you're looking at bet builders, I was looking at Szoboszlai's stats: 13 tackles and 2 yellows in his last 5, and Conor Bradley and Cody Gakpo 8 fouls in the last 5. So Liverpool, they're getting stuck in. I think it's fair to say there's a lot of kind of work going on in midfield and defence, and because there's a lot more attack coming on them, I think they're not quite used to that. So it might be interesting to look at cards for Liverpool as well in this one. But yeah, Villa, got to go Villa.
Yeah, should be a great game. That's Saturday night, 8 o'clock. There's live radio commentary of that on talkSPORT. It's a Sunday, 2 games. We're going old school on Sunday, a 4:30 and a 2 o'clock. West Ham versus Newcastle. West Ham making their worst start to a Premier League season after 9 matches, just 4 points this season. Newcastle 12th, beating Fulham last weekend, but going well in the Carabao Cup and also in Europe. Newcastle, though, have lost just 1 of their 8 Premier League away games at the London Stadium, but Newcastle winless in their last 7 away Premier League matches, which surprises me given how good and strong Newcastle are. But Lee Phelps, I think they're going to get back to winning aways on the road this weekend. They like Newcastle here.
Yeah. How long's Nuno got left? Joke. West Ham. Yeah.
Don't joke about it.
No. 19 to how long Slot got left? If the current
I'll ask you at the end who's favourite next to go. There we go. Have that one ready.
West Ham 19-5, so just a smidgen under 4-1 at home. The draw 29-10. Newcastle 4-6. Big price 4-1 at home, isn't it? Against the side in Newcastle, you said don't do great on the road, and they're still a week away from Johan Visa being fit. Good of Isak to hold off on the goals for him, so the match bet can start in earnest sometime mid-November.
Maybe they're both just not going to score at any point in the season, and it's to be 0-0.
Yeah, whether he gets in the starting lineup with Voltemada, just keeps scoring, doesn't he? 6 and 11 for the Magpies. It's hard to make a case for the Hammers unless something remarkable happens, which it could do, couldn't it? They are capable of scoring goals, as we said, but Newcastle, although not great on the road, full stop, they are unbeaten at the Hammers in the last 6 and won 4 of them there. So yeah, I think Newcastle, it's a bit skinny at 4-6. Maybe look at Newcastle to win and Voltemada to score, something like that. But I think Newcastle do win the game.
The 4:30 game is City-Bournemouth. Bournemouth, I think, are a team that everybody is loving watching at the moment. Second in the Premier League table. They're on the longest unbeaten run of any current Premier League side, going without defeat in 8 games since their opening day defeat against Liverpool. Bournemouth, though, have lost 15 of their 16 Premier League games against Man City. I was surprised at how big you guys had Villa at Liverpool. I know that City aren't in bad form like Liverpool, but Bournemouth going really, really well. Is there a nice price for Bournemouth to beat City?
It does look tempting, doesn't it? 9-2. Yeah, 7-2
bigger than Villa.
City 1-2. Yeah, it wouldn't be like the biggest surprise in the world if they managed it. Bournemouth on this very day, November the 2nd last year, they beat City 2-1 at home. Semenyo got the opener, by the way. Bournemouth have got some of the most informed strikers in the league at the moment. Krupi and Semenyo, 7 between them in the league in the last 5. But City have the informed striker in Erling Haaland, don't they? His streak did end against Villa, didn't play in the week. if he plays, then again, you're looking at him scoring, aren't you? Look at the epic boost around this game. I think shots on target, Bournemouth don't sit back, do they? Between Haaland, Semenyo and Krupi, they've had 24 shots on target in the last 5 games.
Wow.
It's remarkable. They don't do great on the road, Bournemouth. Only 1 win away from home so far. That was at Tottenham.
But I have a feeling, Lee, this game might be one of those where Bournemouth go to City, play really, really well, have loads and loads of chances, don't take them, and then City maybe score like an 82nd minute Erling Haaland tap in and win 1-0. And we're all sat there thinking, how unlucky are Bournemouth? How do they not win this game of football?
I think probably. I think there'll be goals though. I do think City are susceptible. So I think what you say is right, but I think it might be one of those where it's both teams to score. So I think I'd go City to win and both teams to score. 5 of the last 6 of Bournemouth's games against City have seen both teams to score. I mean, it's really weird when you look at the head-to-heads, from 21 onwards, I think, or 22 onwards. City would beat them 4-1, 6-1. And then as it's got nearer to the present day, it's become more like, 1-0s and 2-1 win to Bournemouth. So it's evened up a lot. I think both teams to score. Yeah, City to win, both teams to score would be my pick in this one, I think. And obviously look at goal scorers. If you're having a bet builder, chuck Semenyo in there, shots on target. There's loads to go out. Foden's got a good record against Bournemouth as well, so there's plenty to go out here.
And Lee finishes off with Sunderland and Everton. That's Monday Night Football.
Yeah, it's fascinating game, this one, isn't it? I mean, Sunderland are incredible what they've done so far, and the Sunderland fans, I've got family up in the northeast, and they're absolutely loving life. They're 9-5 to win this, a draw 2-1, Everton 13-8. So there's a bit of value whichever way you think this is going to go. Sunderland came in from, I think it was 2,000 to 1 to 200 to 1 to win the Premier League, taking some bets on that, by the way, as well.
Really?
And they've really come in for a top 10 finish. 33 to 1 they started the season at, 4 to 1 they were after the weekend. And that's the worst result in our book in that market, the top 10 finish. They're a shorter price to be in the top 10 than they are to be relegated now. So, yeah, lots going on there. I mean, they've just got they've got goals in them. The team's knitted together well, and they seem to have a real steel about them as well. Like there's a real camaraderie and a real everyone in it together type feel. I think Everton have got that as well, by the way. So I don't think this is I don't think Sunderland at 9-5 are an absolute gimme by any stretch of the imagination. The draw might be another player at 2-1. Again, it's the biggest price of the 3. But the way Sunderland are playing, you just have to edge them. It must, Stadium of Light must be absolutely rocking for every home game. So yeah, Everton just gone off the boil a touch, haven't they? So I think Sunderland to win at home, 9-5. If you can make an argument for that, it's as good a price as any, isn't it?
Lee, top man, thank you very much for that. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday, back permitting.
Absolutely. Arne Slot, by the way, 8-1, second favourite to be the next Premier League manager to go. Vitor Pereira, 2-1 on favourite.
Lee, good stuff. Who'd have thought that? Saying that a couple of months ago after Liverpool won the Premier League. Lee, thank you. And thank you for watching the talkSPORT Goals preview show with William Hill. And make sure you join us on Saturday, slightly later time of 2 o'clock on talkSPORT Goals. We'll keep you across all of the Premier League action. That's Saturday, 2 o'clock for talkSPORT Goals. We'll see you then.